Hello and welcome, or welcome back if you're a returning viewer to the channel. WB here, and in this video what I want to do is show you how you can deploy app configuration policies inside of Microsoft Intune. As always, I ask if you like what you see on the channel, be sure to subscribe, click that notification bell, like, share, comments are always welcome, and check out the description below for the link to our community Discord server so that we can continue this discussion after the video ends. Alright everybody, let's go. Alright everybody, here we are on my Windows desktop, and in order to create our app configuration policies for either Android or iOS devices inside of Microsoft Intune, first we're going to go ahead and we're going to navigate to Apps on the left hand side. And then we could do this by platform. I'm going to go under Managed Apps and we're going to choose Configuration. And then from here under Create, we can do Managed Devices or Managed Apps. We're going to do Managed Devices. And we're going to call this West US. Actually, I'm so used to doing device policies, I'm going to call this App. And I'll just call it 01. All right, now, if we try to move on from here, it's not going to let us because we have to select our platform. And here's where we can do iOS or iPadOS, and we can do, or I should say, we can do Android Enterprise. I'm going to choose Android Enterprise. And we have three different profiles that we need to keep in mind. All right, now one of them is just all inclusive, right? So all profile types. But let's take a second here and let's kind of remember what these two options are, right? When I say two options, that include three different deployment types. All right, so fully managed, right? These are corporately owned devices, right? They are not for personal use at all. A dedicated device, all right? This is a special use, single-purpose device, right? Like a kiosk type device, or if it's Android, you know, since it's Android operating system, it could be something like a barcode scanner that somebody would use in a department store, right? Or you know, maybe an inventory tablet, right? So it is the difference here is we still have user affinity with a fully managed and even a corporate loan. We'll get to that one in a second, but both of these have, all three of these have user affinity. The dedicated one is one in which you don't have user affinity, right? So it's basically, you know, multiple users going to be using it, right? Corporately owned, work profile only. This is one of those cases where you have corporately owned, personally enabled. I believe COPE is what they call that, right? So your corporate, your company allows you to use a phone that you can also use for some personal endeavors as well too. Last one here. This is going to be typically what we create when we create a work folder type profile. This is BYOD. All right, BYOD is where the device isn't enrolled into Microsoft Entra ID, and you do not have control over the devices. You are essentially just doing what's known as mobile application management. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose the middle one here, and then we can select the app, and let's go over here. And we can select any one of the existing apps here. So for instance, maybe I do Authenticator. I like you can do the managed home screen, and it gives you the tiles the tile layout of the interface, so you can select that as well too. We'll go ahead and choose OK to this. We've got our targeted app, and we'll choose Next. All right, so what kind of configuration settings do we want, right? We can select, now a couple different ways that we can do this. The configuration designer is what I'm going to use, but you could, if you know the JSON data, so maybe you've already used the configuration designer, maybe you understand the JSON, and you just want to copy that JSON and you want to enter it yourself, you just do a copy and paste maybe from a document you already have, or you can use the configuration designer, and the configuration designer allows you to basically kind of like a guided tour, which it'll put the JSON in there for you. So for instance, let's see here, let's just do one configuration key. suppressed camera consent for QR codes. There we go. Maybe we're just go ahead and choose that one. We choose OK. All right. And the other thing too here is, connected apps, right? Do we want to allow our users to connect this app across the work and personal profiles? Right, we can say not configured or enabled. Maybe we go ahead and choose enabled. And then next is our assignments. This is where we can assign this to our groups, users, or devices. So for instance here, maybe I type in, I'll just let it go ahead and populate myself. All right, maybe we type in help desk here. And that's who we're going to allocate this to. If you want to do more targeted profile targeting, you can choose your filters. I don't have any Android filters, so if I choose to use a filter here, nothing shows up, right? One of the things I like about the interface here, regardless of what you're configuring, if this happened to be, let's say, iOS, and I had iOS filters, it would be smart enough to know that and put them here. Because I do have Windows filters for profile targeting, but you can see they're not showing up here because we're doing Android configuration. So that I've always thought that's kind of neat. Now, if you ever get here and you want to get out of here, right, if you go to choose this actually closes down the whole wizard. So once you're here, you have to choose do not apply, even if you don't want any filtering, to back out of that. Then we choose next, and it validates our settings. We can review our settings, right, and then we can choose create. Then we get our app configuration policy here. And what we can do here is we can see the device status, and we can also see not only the install, not the check-in, but the install status. If we want, we can turn around and we can filter this down as well too. Keep in mind, notice the properties. We have these hyperlinks that say edit. That allows you to do some configurations, right? So maybe if you do have an assignment filter here and you decide that you want to do some more filtering, maybe help desk, there's a specific type of Android version that you want to target, you could do that. So you can get very, very granular. And there you have it, everybody. Remember, if you like what you see on the channel, be sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, like, share. Comments are always welcome. Check out the description for the link to our community Discord server so that you can continue this discussion with me after the video ends. Thank you for watching.